Today, let's get into a really powerful idea for unlocking your true potential. It comes from one of the great poet-philosophers of the 20th century, Allama Iqbal, and it's all about a call to awaken the soul.
So let's start with a huge question, one that people have wrestled with for centuries. Are we, as human beings, just naturally weak? Are we helpless, just kind of pushed around by fate?
Well, Allama Iqbal's answer to that question was a loud, clear no. He completely rejected that idea of us being born weak. Instead, he believed we all have this incredible potential inside of us, just waiting to be unlocked.
And the key to unlocking all that potential? Well, it comes down to one single, life-changing concept, Khudi. And this idea, folks, is the absolute heart of his entire philosophy.
So, what exactly is Khudi? The simple translation is selfhood, but it's so much deeper than that. Think of it more like a profound self-awareness, a deep self-respect that lets you finally realize your own inner strength. It's really about discovering who you are and what you're capable of.
Now, it's super important to know what Khudi is not, and it is not ego. Iqbal drew a really sharp line here. See, the ego is all about pride, arrogance, and selfishness. It's about puffing yourself up. Khudi is the opposite. It's built on self-respect and self-awareness. It's about building yourself up on a real foundation of strength.
And when a person really embraces their Khudi, the change is incredible. They become fearless, they become more creative, they find what true freedom feels like. But here's the next big step in his thinking. These strong individuals, they become the foundation for a strong and vibrant nation.
This brings us to a really important theme. Developing Khudi isn't some passive thing you do. It's not about just meditating. It demands action. It requires you to embrace a life of constant, meaningful struggle. This quote from him just nails the idea. He saw life as constant motion. If you get passive, if you just accept your fate without a fight, you're not standing still, you're actually in decline. The struggle itself is the engine that makes us rise.
So his philosophy gives us a pretty clear path to growth. It's almost like a three-step process. First, you have to awaken your inner strength. Then you embrace that continuous struggle. And the result, you're always growing, always moving upward. Iqbal even tied this directly into faith. He really pushed back against any idea of religion being just an escape from life's problems. He argued that true faith should spark courage and a desire for action. It should make you want to face your responsibilities, not run away from them.
So, what does a person who has actually awakened their Khudi look like? Well, Iqbal painted a really vivid picture for us of this ideal human being. This person is first off fearless and fiercely independent. They think for themselves, they don't just repeat borrowed ideas, and they have this deep, unshakable self-respect that drives them to set huge goals and go after them with everything they have.
And here's a really profound thought from Iqbal. All slavery, he said, begins in the mind. Before anyone can be put in physical chains, they first have to be enslaved mentally. He then connected this directly to the fate of entire nations. Freedom isn't just a political thing, it's a state of mind. Iqbal believed a nation only loses its freedom on the outside after it has already lost its confidence and self-respect on the inside.
But this whole philosophy, it isn't just about you becoming a better person. The awakened individual has a massive responsibility to the world. The idea is to take that personal strength and turn it into a force for a better society for everyone.
Iqbal's vision was all about universal justice. He argued that any claim of being superior because of race or wealth or skin color is just plain false. What truly connects all of us as human beings, he said, are our shared moral and spiritual values.
And this leads him to ask a very challenging question, one that is still so relevant today. When you see injustice happening, is staying silent a moral failure?
For Iqbal, the answer was crystal clear. He believed it is way more noble to fight for what is right, even if you fail, than to just live comfortably by accepting lies and oppression. Now, even with all his sharp critiques of society, it is so important to understand that Iqbal's core message wasn't about despair. It was actually one of profound hope. He was a deep optimist. He never believed that decline was a permanent state of being. For Iqbal, a revival, a comeback was always possible, but only if people were willing to do the hard work of awakening themselves and taking action. This quote just sums up his vision so beautifully. He wasn't stuck on what was lost in the past. He was focused on what could be gained. The future, he believed, belongs to those who dare to dream, who dare to struggle, and who dare to believe in their own power.
And so Iqbal's philosophy kind of holds up a mirror to us, showing us the potential that's waiting inside every one of us, which leaves one final, powerful question. And it's not for him, it's for you. How will you awaken it?